As adults, our breaks are just short weekends, every now and then a vacation or two. But for students, an entire summer off can mean forgetting months of work. Dr. Drew Kemp from Augusta University's College of Education joins us now with how your kids can avoid the summer brain drain. And it is a real thing.
It is a real thing. I have 2 teenage daughters, and I see it every summer.
What can parents do? Because kids are off, you want to let them enjoy the summer. You want to let them kind of sleep in late and hang with their friends, but at the same time, too, you need to put some work in front of them, put a book in front of them.
Right.
How can you do that without resistance?
Well, the thing is what's going on in schools right now. It's a lot about, reading and writing and that kind of thing. But to be honest, it doesn't matter what you read or write. So anytime you can find anything to read, it's perfect for a child of any age. One way you can do that, which kids tend to like, is turn on the closed captioning on your TV, because they can watch a show and then the words are right there below it so they can read along with what's going on, and it can prompt those reading skills easily while they're watching TV.
That's genius. That is absolutely genius, because that's the type of thing that a kid would not protest.
Exactly. Let's sit down and watch TV for a while. Okay. And if you turn that on, you can say, see if you can read aloud with it. And then you can have the child interested in what they're doing, and it doesn't feel schoolish.
Right.
Because the summer shouldn't be about school. School's hard enough and enough pressure as it is. What
are some other things that parents can do? Because it is very difficult to think of ways to do this.
Absolutely. A really important one is just to make sure kids are creative. In school there's so many things that go on with worksheets and math and things like that, which are all very important. But there's a creative side of our mind that you can really work on over the summer. A really simple thing to do is just go outside, find things around the yard, and create art projects. Take pictures of them, post them to friends, post it on social media, and then put it all back again. And as the child is creating it, you can ask your child, well, why did you design it this way? Why did you pick this color? So they start thinking about things like the relationship between color and space and size, which are all school-related skills, but they aren't necessarily things that are done in school every day.
Right, so they don't fight you thinking that you're sitting down to do an assignment. They think you're sitting down to do something fun. Now, a lot of times, kids spend a lot of time in the car heading to different vacations. They're going to visit family members halfway across the country, right, heading to Florida, heading to the beach. What can kids do in the car to kind of help with this? Because that's a great period of time to make sure that kids are learning.
I mean, there's some really obvious car games that you can do. Like, as you're driving along, just start with the alphabet and find something that starts with A. And you keep finding things that start with A until someone can't do it anymore. And then move to B and C. And especially for younger kids, it allows that language development that's important.
Oh, yes, and I have definitely done that with my daughter, who just turned 6. I can tell you that also eats up quite a bit of time on the road. And some of us parents who, when we spend a lot of time with a young child, it's good for our brains, too, because after a while, when you're not having a ton of adult interaction and you're mainly focused on your child, it's good to keep parents sharp.
Exactly.
I know that sounds funny, but it's the truth.
And my kids, when we travel, I mean, they're both teenagers, they're both in high school. I'll have them do things, just go to a news site and just read me news articles just to keep me interested while I'm driving, but it also allows them to know what's going on in the world. So it allows us to talk about recent events, things that are in the news, so they're more aware of their community and the world around them, and it still allows us to have a conversation.
Sure, and you're also entertained while you're driving.
Absolutely.
So this is a multifaceted benefits here. Why do you think, though, that so many kids just kind of get out of that mode? You would think a summer break flies by.
Right.
How much are they losing in that amount of time?
There's a lot of research about different amounts, and it's not that it's lost, it's just not, students lose the ability to access it. When they're in schools, there are tools with which to remember things. They use mnemonic devices, they study for tests, they have points of access. Once it gets to the summer, those are kind of lost because there isn't a purpose for remembering it. So when you get back to school, you're having to re-access all those things. But if you keep the mind active, it allows those access points to be more easily found.
And plus, it's, too, repetition during the school year. A lot of kids go through different ways of learning where things are repeated in the classroom, and then they're able to remember it. But when you actually learn something through these different activities, you're suggesting the space relationships and the shapes for the art project with the outdoor things that you find laying around, that makes you remember it
Absolutely.
more instead of just the memorization and then the regurgitation.
Absolutely. And there's other things that you can do to just keep enhancing those skills. Teach your kids to cook. You know, get into the kitchen, measure things out, and say, what do you think would make this taste good? Even if it's wrong. You know, it might be macaroni and cheese, and they're like, well, I really like onions. And you're like, okay, allow them to try it. And when it doesn't work, well, why didn't you like that? And then you're working on vocabulary, reasoning skills, description, and things like that, where you wouldn't normally be able to do that.
So basically you're saying there's a lesson
in everything.
In everything. And also you've made it fun, which is I appreciate that as a parent.
And that's what's important. Summer should be fun. There's a lot of pressure in school with testing and homework and just the way schools are right now. And let summer be fun. Do things like that. There are a million things you can do, like Google how to make Play-Doh. I mean, all it is flour, cream of tartar, salt, and oil. You can make your own, and then when you get done, you can throw it away, and it costs, what, 15 cents? You know, it's really inexpensive, and you can let your kid get messy.
Fun stuff. But thanks so much for coming. As a mother, I appreciate it. I know our viewers at home appreciate it. For any parents looking for a summer program, there are still some open as well. We've got a full list on our website, WRDW.com or 26NBC.com.